Good morning, everyone. I am Irene Marie C. Arqueo from BED3, and today we will be learning about the philosophical thoughts in education. This is a continuation of Miss Karen Asonya's discussion. First, let us know what is philosophy in education. A philosophy of education is a statement or set of statements that identifies and clarifies the beliefs, values, and understanding of an individual or group with respect to education. So it is defined in this sense. It may be thought of as a more or less organized body of knowledge and opinion of education. It is conceptualized as it is practiced. Education can be called as the dynamic side of philosophy because philosophy is wisdom, and education transmits this wisdom to another generation. Now, here are the philosophical thoughts on education coming from these great philosophers and educator. First, we have George Counts on There the School Build a New Social Order. Second, we have Theodore Brameld, Social Reconstructionism. And third, we have Paulo Freire, Critical Pedagogy. George Counts is an American progressive educator, a sociologist, activist, and a very influential education theorist. He is also a leader of social reconstructivism. He was born and raised in Baldwin, Kansas. He attended Baker University in 1911 and earned his doctorate in 1916 in education with a minor sociology at the University of Chicago. He was also elected as president of the American Federation of Teachers in 1939, having run as the anti-communist candidate. Counts is also a political activist and New York State chairman of the American Labor Party. In his philosophical thoughts, he recognized that education was the means of preparing people for creating a new social order. Social order is a broad term that refers to the link between people and institutions. This social order is one of the great works of George Counts. The book is entitled There the School Built a New Social Order. It means that he wants teachers to go beyond abstract philosophical conception of democracy and teach explicitly about power and injustice. He wants teachers to expose our students to the reality of the world, not just teaching them about the abstract of democracy, but also teach them about possession of power and injustice in our society. He believes that the school has the power to change society and should by the hands of teachers. He also believed that schools and teachers should be agents of change and should be agents of social improvement. Because education is our bridge towards social improvement, and this will happen in school and with the help of our teachers. Counts asserts that these two are agents towards social transformation and social improvements. George Counts actually reiterated that everyone aims to change for the better, not just for the sake of change. Because change is one of the constant things in this world, and everything changes. For example, your personality change, your economy change, just like for example our curriculum. Our curriculum is dynamic and not static. It changes over time. It should adapt to the demands of our society. But not all changes for the better. That's why George Counts emphasizes that everyone should change for the better, not just with the notion of change. And for us to be able to do this, schools should provide quality education and equal learning opportunities to all students. George Counts' educational philosophy was also an outgrowth of John Dewey's philosophy, wherein it is a student-centered, and the best teaching method for Counts is problem solving with the use of authentic activities.
It means we should engage our students, expose them to authentic problems, allowing them to come up solution on solving these problems. For example, if we teach pollution, then we should expose our students to these real places that shows the problems of pollution, to open their minds and eyes to the reality of the world, and allow them to think on what could they contribute in these issues and how to solve this pollution. George Counts asserts that building a new social order is very necessary because we have to change our ways, not our physical aspects of life, but the way how we live our life. And this social order aims to steer the minds of the students to have change and reform. Second philosopher is Theodor Brameld. He was a leading educational philosopher and educator of the 20th century. Brameld had a lot of education in his lifetime, and he teaches at various universities and colleges. His philosophy and education is the social reconstructionism. It is a philosophy that emphasizes the addressing of social questions and a quest to create a better society and worldwide democracy. It focuses on a curriculum that highlights social reform. His philosophies was also influenced by George Counts' social order, which he also aims reforms, changes, and improvements.
The belief of this social reconstructionism is that curriculum should focus on students' experiences and taking social action, community real problems, and multiple perspective and community-based learning and strategies that for dealing with controversial issues. As we can see, the philosophy of Theodor Brameld is related to the philosophy of George Counts. It is about opening the eyes of our students to the reality of the world. We should let them participate and know the controversial issues that are happening in our society.
The goal of Reconstructionism in education is to eliminate any unjust treatments and exercise of power in our educational system, and also in our law, government, social system, and other institutions, such as racism, sexism, homophobia attitudes, and more. We should eliminate any discrimination and inequality in the system. This philosophy aims to change the system and overcome oppression and improve human conditions. Reconstructionism focuses on empowering our learners. Learners will learn better if they experience the learning itself. If we involve them to the process, and teachers must stand as guidance towards the process. And everyone must be given equal access to education and equal opportunity without any discrimination regardless of race and economic status. The role of the teachers is to create information and challenging lessons that will open the students' eyes to social inequities. Because teachers are instruments in making changes by instilling this knowledge to our students as we give them activities like role plays and debates, wherein we allow them to portray social changes and issues of the society.
In his philosophical thoughts, we should include or bring our students into their community, wherein they spend time in classroom and the other half outside the school premises in different settings. So we should encourage our students to get out, participate, help out in the community, because this is our future, the future of our younger generations, wherein they should have the knowledge what is outside those classrooms, the reality of society that need to be reconstructed. Our third philosopher is Paulo Freire. Paulo Freire was born on September 19, 1921. He grew up in the northeast of Brazil, where his experience deeply influenced his life works. Freire became a grammar teacher while in high school, and he also received UNESCO 1986 Prize for Education for Peace for his effort to reach a better quality education. Freire is best known for his famous book, a very influential one, the pedagogy of the oppressed.
In his famous book, Freire explodes and talks about education becoming an act of depositing. He called this the banking concept of education, a method in education where the teacher's rule is that putting deposits of knowledge into the student's head. They will just simply store the information relayed to them by the teacher. Students are expected to be passive. It is described as a traditional approach in teaching. Students stores and remember information given by teachers. They are empty receptacle of learning.
His book became a foundational text to his theory on critical pedagogy, the theory that issues of social justice and democracy that are one with teaching and learning is to break away any oppression.
He asserts that we should learn to resist oppression and not become its victim, nor oppress others.
In his philosophical thoughts, Freire claimed that teaching and learning is a process of inquiry and also an active process. He believes that schools and teachers can change persons' perception. That's why we should strengthen our school and teachers.
It means that the students should be the doers, wherein students are not just supposed to be just there, passive agents of learning, but they should participate, take control on their learning, and should be the one to act. They must taught how to learn for themselves, be responsible, invent, and reinvent the world.
In his theory, critical pedagogy, it focuses on dialogue. Freire believes that a sincere dialogues would promote respect and understanding would rise among teachers and students. Dialogue means the interaction and interactive between students and teachers, where they both learns, both questions, both reflects, and participate in meaning-making decisions. A sincere dialogue leads to solidarity, equality, and mutual respect. As what we can see in these three philosophers, they aim to make social changes, reform, and improvement. That changes will start in schools with our education, allowing them to see authentic problems, social problems, that will open their minds, their eyes, their hearts on these social issues and be able to reflect, create solutions. Their philosophies fosters equality, active learning, and changes for the better society. That's all for my discussion, and thank you for listening.